Welcome, everybody, back. We are on episode 1, season 2, The Life Between All or Nothing. We have missed you guys so much. It's been a busy, hectic, crazy summer, but Scott J, Mary Kay, we're ready to just bang it out for an awesome second season. And right, Mary Kay? I mean, we're just so excited about it.
Oh, yeah. I was excited, and I couldn't wait until today. Just couldn't wait.
I know. It was so, and we had to bring in Lynn Serrano. Now, Lynn Serrano not only is a person who introduced Mary Kay and I to each other, we met through her and in her network of thousands of people that she does. I don't know how she does it. But Lynn Serrano, she was the first guest on our very first show in season 1. So she is traditionally going to be our season opener for every show, for every season.
Yeah.
And Lynn is an author. She's a producer. She's a podcast host. She's a creator. She's a coach. She's a motivator. Lynn, what else do you do? You don't do anything, do you? You don't do anything.
She's a producer. You forgot producer.
Yeah,
Producer?
I don't cook though. I don't cook.
Oh, she doesn't cook.
I don't cook.
See, there you go. So you're just lazy. No.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No, Lynn, it's exciting to have you here.
Well, it's nice to see Ron Neal here too. So, and Mama Sandy and Karen.
So nice. Hi, everyone.
Hi, it's great to see everybody here.
Yes.
No, I'm so proud of seeing you guys, and congratulations on your second season. This is an honor to be here.
Thank you.
It's just great to be here, and it's great to see a lot of podcasters doing some wonderful things out there, and that's what the world needs is more podcasters and better programming out there. And that's what I'm trying to do is get more people to circulate and mix and mingle and do shows, because we need more inspiration and motivation out there, and get people thinking about their own lives and their own thoughts and being very provoking to stir conversations.
It's an interesting medium, and there's so many people out there doing podcasts, and it's so easy to get the stuff together. I mean, a quick type in an Amazon on podcast kit, and you'll have everything you need.
Yeah.
But the problem is there's a lot of people out there just making noise. But there are a great many people, including you, Lynn, and people like Walt and Steph, and people like Chris Roush, and people like, we can go on and on the list.
Debbie from Find It.
Debbie and Steve, our friend Steve Rizzo, and all these people doing podcasts, trying to help people and send positivity and messages. And Mary Kay, from the beginning, you and I had the same mission, is to help people change their lives, right?
We did. Same mission, same vision in many ways too. And I mean, you look around the world now and the economic downturn that we're facing as well. There's so much negativity and there's so much stuff out there that if we can just keep putting out good into the world, that's got to make a difference. Like I really believe that in my heart, that the more that we can do that, the more that we can help people live more positively and love their lives and feel inspired and feel empowered to make the changes.
Absolutely. And I'm going to add to the mix, but with adding Lynn's BS podcast soon, which is Lynn's bright side of things. So
I love it.
So yeah, we got to add more to the mix.
But
I
Lynn,
love it. So you're going to be launching that?
When is that coming, Lynn?
It'll be the end of the month or in October. So
okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. So
Coming
I'm
soon.
excited, but I haven't said that out loud to anybody on any podcast or even on my shows yet. But
woohoo! You
they're
heard it
exclusive.
Here first.
Yeah.
Wow.
They'll be talking
But Lynn,
about
you're one of those people that you always try to carry positive messages. You always, in the face of difficult times, even when you've had difficult times, or with guests who go through, you're always looking for the positive. Where does that come from with you?
Well, because the thing is people don't understand the needle doesn't move until there is something that happens. And when situations are happening, those situations have to happen in order for major epiphanies, aha moments, creation of rebirth. It's just amazing that
There's
you need to, hi Debbie.
There's Debbie.
You need to have adversity in order to see your purpose in life sometimes. I mean, you don't get to be almost 58 and get to be unscathed and go through things and realize that they are a blessing. I mean, if you're blessed all the time and you don't have any empathy for people, you can't understand things. I've had house fires. I mean, I've gone through a lot of different things in my life, and I say it's a blessing that I did, because then I'm humbled and I'm able to say, now everybody's experience is different, but at least you can resonate with other people because you've gone through it. And it's the same thing goes with, until I lost my mother, I didn't know what it was to lose a parent. Until you lose a dog, you don't know what that feels like. I mean, until you go through something, you really don't know what someone's going through. And I mean, everybody has different degrees of things, but the bright side of all these things is that to realize that you're never alone. And when people share their stories, then again, you realize you're not alone. And so realize how small the world really is, to realize that we're not all different. We're all the same. It's just a matter of when we will experience those experiences. So
yeah, it's funny. We're going to rename the show just for today's episode. Remember the old TV show 30 something?
Yeah.
We're going to call the show 50 something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're all in that age.
We're all the same age. Yeah.
We're
a year of each other.
Or two of each other.
Yeah.
But we're constantly still reinventing and trying new things and doing new things and looking forward to things. Like, I have more excitement about some things than I had in my 20s because I didn't appreciate them as much. I didn't think about them as much, right? I mean, it's those experiences that Lynn was just talking about that makes us say, I've been through shit. I'm allowed to be happy and do good things and to have fun, right?
I used to take advantage of going to the park and walking 5 miles a day, and I can't even walk for 5 minutes now. And next year I should have both knees replaced, God willing. But what I would do just to be able to jog for a mile. I'll never be able to jog again, but to walk again and to walk with my grandkids, I look forward to that day, and it's just, you take for granted to be able to just walk. You take for granted the things you could do before. And, I will never take those things for granted again, but you do take so many things for granted, and you just realize the things you can, and it's just the gratitude you get, and things you take for granted, simple things like that.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I'm always excited when I'm talking to either one of you, and, two women that I just absolutely adore and love the both of you to death. And I'm inspired by both of you for all the things that you guys do. And it helps push me forward in what I do. But there's a different kind of like flavor to life when you get, and that's one of the things that we had talked about, Mary Kay. We really wanted to address people later in life. I mean, it's easy to make decisions when you're 20 and 30 years old, but when you hit like your late 40s, your 50s, and even into your 60s, and you're looking at things and you want to make changes, you feel more stuck. But I'm telling you, the rewards are even greater when you do it at this age. Isn't that true, Mary?
Oh, that's so true. I mean, at this age, I think maybe even a little bit younger, people realize their programming, their cultural programming, their parental programming. And then once you realize that you've been programmed, you're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to change. Oh, hi, Christopher. I'm going to change. And I have the power to change. And I can shed some of that programming and some of those expectations because you've lived other people's expectations. Maybe you've even lived an entire path of expectations that was paved for you. And then you get to this age and you're like, I don't have to do that. I don't give a,
Rats.
A rat's beautiful
booty
behind what people think.
I'll say rat's ass and save you both the trouble.
Yeah, okay.
I'll say it. I'll take the heat. Rat's
and if people don't know, I swear,
letters.
then you don't know me at all.
That's so funny. But you cross the line of 50, say, and then you just realize that I can just take off all this stuff and leave it behind and like skinny dip my life for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And not care. And not care what people think.
Well, right now I'm studying for a life insurance test and stuff. And, I never thought I'd be studying. And it's like more than anything, I think I'm more surprised at the things I didn't know then that I should have known way back when. but also just the idea of just studying, and learning
Yeah.
some stuff. So it just, I'm like, no, I'm going to learn, I'm going to learn to study. And, I didn't do good in tests. I time test and stuff. It just, it brings some thoughts about the whole thing. But, what does it say?
I say it's the other
The other F word?
The other F
Yeah,
word.
exactly.
We
I
got
love
The
that.
beautiful F word.
Scott Schilling's out there with us. A trifecta of
Trifecta.
Hi.
I love Scott
thank
Schilling.
you so much. And
He's taught me the word mature is a good
Mature.
word for he says AKA another word for getting old.
yeah, there you go.
Uh,
Christopher Rauch has been kicking in. I want to definitely highlight Chris Rauch for a moment,
yes.
and the message that he puts out every day,
Yes.
and his different podcasts and the messages he's always putting out there on social media are so inspirational, and it's so kick-ass. It's really about, almost the shut up and do it kind of thing, but in a loving, caring, I've been there kind of way.
Yeah.
Chris, we're following in your footsteps, my friend. You started some of this. You are what podcasting should be, and we hope we can live up to what you do every day. And we appreciate you for what you do, pal.
He's a no
excuses.
And he was on Find It
Ditto.
yesterday with Debbie. So go look for that on YouTube. And he's awesome. He's also known as my little brother. I love him dearly. So
and known as my soul brother.
Yeah. So
he says, "Oh, you are awesome. Just me being me. Check out the convo with Deborah from yesterday."
Yep.
Yeah, I saw part of it. Yeah. It was great.
And
it was great.
This is all part of our family. We got a quote from it moved on me. There we go. Ron Neal, I'm truly living the dream. Was a long, exciting road. You're all so right. Enjoy.
Listen, wait, I got to tell you about Ron real quick.
Please.
Ron Neal, he was a WWF wrestler trainer back in the day. He also would perform my brother Mark, who passed away. He's a musician. I can't even talk. And he was one of my brother's best friends. So Ron chiming in.
Oh, nice.
It really means a lot, him being on here. So, but anyhow, so yeah, it's just, it's one of those things as far as when we get to an age and, you youngins that might be watching this. Hi, Theodore. So glad you're here. You might.
Wait, I got to do that too. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all got to do that. All you youngins.
This might look like a really fucked up liver, but this is a heart, people. That's what that is. It's a heart.
You young people out there might, brisk off people that are older and giving you wisdom. But do yourself a favor. Just laugh at it, but write the stuff down. And I guarantee someday you can laugh again and say, shit, those bastards were right. Okay.
What is the old saying? The older I get, the smarter my parents get.
You're
right.
Yeah. Because when I was young, my parents, I thought my parents were idiots when I was young. And now I'm like, they were kind of smart.
Yeah. So,
hey, Jacques is
Hi, Jacques.
Hi, Jacques.
Jacques is back. Jacques is back.
So, but my
Debbie,
mom
I know it's so weird. My mom actually knows stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it is an all or nothing kind of thing in life that as we go, we think we know it all, but then we realize we didn't know. We only knew half of what we should have known, or we had only half of the answers. And we didn't get it straight, because once you say, and Rex can tell you this, once you say I know, you're blocking off the privilege of knowing the rest of the story. Just like,
I love it.
What was that guy, Paul Harvey? Now you know the rest of the story. Remember
yeah. I remember that.
And it makes sense. And he was a wise guy. Now you know the rest of the story. And sometimes you go, oh yeah, I know that shit he's talking about. But then he's like, no, now you know the rest of the story. So there's truth to it. It really is.
And there's no all or nothing. There is no all or nothing. You're never going to have it all. And you never, ever actually have nothing. If you're pumping air, you still have life. You still have opportunity. And no matter what you get, there's always going to be more all to add to your all. the thing is, it's the life you live while you're traveling, while you're in between all of these things. It's the life you live while you're moving towards your objectives. The truth is, I've had more fun in my journeys than I have in my destinations most of my life.
Yeah.
That's why I used to ride motorcycles, because we'd all say, hey, let's go down to Virginia Beach with our motors. We get like 30 of us on our bikes, and we'd all travel together. And when we got to Virginia Beach, sure, it was a good time, but the real fun was in the travel, was in riding the bikes, feeling the wind in our hair, and just having a great time. And that's what life is. It should be that. It should be enjoying this moment, making the most of what you got right now. Don't wait until tomorrow. Because you know what? If you're waiting until a certain time to enjoy your life, how much time are you pissing away while you're waiting? How much time did you not enjoy? How much time did you not enjoy? Life is hard. If you live to 70 years old, you will have spent 10 years on a Monday morning. Think about that.
I love that statistic.
And people hate Mondays so much. So basically, if you live to 70, 10 years of your life you spent hating the day. Stop hating the day. Start loving the moment.
Or even the week. People live for the weekend. Like 5 days of the week, you're unhappy.
Yeah.
You're waiting to be happy.
Look how many people go on a trip, right? And all they do is they spend all year to prepare for a trip, but then they fill their itinerary with all this shit. And they waste their time so what if they had 10 things on there, but maybe the first 3 you had so much fun with that, and so what if you didn't get through the whole 10 things on your trip?
Yeah.
Who says you have to do everything on the trip? You know?
Yeah. If we do Mary Kay's math, actually, that if you're only waiting for weekends, by the time you're 70, you will have spent 50 years being miserable and 20 years being happy.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
The math doesn't work. Oh, look who's with us.
There's Kellyanne and Kellyanne.
Kellyanne.
And for you that don't know it publicly here, Kellyanne will be on the show sooner than anybody thinks. I'm predicting that.
Okay.
Kellyanne, thanks for being on the show. We're booking you a slot very soon. I'll call you afterwards and tell you. So don't plan any trips. Don't leave the state. This is like you're under investigation. Don't leave the state.
Yeah. She's ready. She's ready to go.
She said yay.
Yay. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
All right. You can just rewind this later.
Ron Neal said something interesting. He says, I saw a placard that says, don't grow up. It's a trap.
Yeah.
Yep. And my brother never did grow up. He was a kid right up to the end there. So anyways.
Is that a fair statement to say try to keep some of your childlike behaviors and childlike feelings and stuff?
Even if you try not to, especially for the men, when you get older, you lose your hair and you got diapers. So come on, figure it out. It's gonna happen anyway. So come on.
I've got all my hair.
Okay, but I'm just saying.
And I'm wearing shorts, but I'm not wearing diapers.
No, but I'm just saying,
well, it depends.
But it depends. Getting closer there, love.
Oh my goodness.
But you got to find laughter in everything, right?
Yeah,
you got to find humor. And the bottom line is that look at why grandkids and babies get along so good. They can communicate better. I mean, there's a connection. I mean, why grandparents get along with their kids, because grandparents at this point just rather be kids, big kids.
Yeah.
At this point, think about that. And the ones in the middle are still trying to figure out whether they're going to grow up or not, or want to be adults still, or, what's going on. So,
and the thing with kids, you brought up the kids playing together. They play together so easily because they're not yet polluted by all this other stuff, like other people's expectations and society rules and all this stuff. Like they just know how to live in the moment. And we only have this moment.
I love what Christopher said.
Chris says, talk about farts and watch even the most stuck up people.
Yeah.
You know what, Mary Kay, I don't want to brush past what you just said because it's so important. As a child, if you show up in a sandbox with a bright red truck, you're my best friend. And we play together. And I don't ask where your parents are from. I don't ask how much money your family makes. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care if you're gay or straight. I don't care about anything other than you're there in that moment with me and you've got a bright red truck. And you might even accidentally hit me in the face with the truck. And I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry for a minute, but I will come back. I will forgive and I will continue to play. We lose that. We become adults. And what we do is we start putting rating systems on what we do. You know, who I hang out with, what are they? We keep piling thing upon thing upon thing until we bury that ability to simply connect with other human beings and laugh and have fun.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's what we lose. It never goes away. It is always there.
Yeah.
You have to unbury it. You have to let go of all of that stuff. You have to let go of expectations and let go of judgment. Oh my God, let go of judgment.
And that's why I said grandkids and with their kids. I mean, grandparents and kids together. You see it, the fun and the life of both of them come back. It's an amazing, beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, Chris is sharing. He says, "It's true. I teach my clients to be more kid-like, curious, and adventurous."
Yeah, curious for sure.
Deborah says, "Rate others based on our own insecurities." Let that shit go. Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's what we need more of is to simply open ourselves up. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? I'm going to tell you something. Coming from where I come from, addiction, alcoholism, abuse, and being an abuser, and all those things, there is not one human being on this planet that has ever hurt me more than I've hurt myself. If I truly need to be afraid of somebody, I should be afraid of what I'm capable of doing to me. Stop hurting myself. And nobody else is ever going to hurt me that bad. So open yourself up. We're all going to get kicked in the teeth every once in a while. But you know what? Be like a kid. Spit the blood out of your mouth. Take a sip of Kool-Aid and go play.
And let me ask you this. Why is it that you could be kinder to somebody else than your own damn self?
That's a good point, Lynn. That is a good point.
Okay, so stop being freaking nicer. Ourselves? Yeah, stop being nicer to someone else than you are to your own self. And that includes being in an abusive relationship when you can tell somebody else to get out of it, but you don't get your own self out of it.
And we've all three of us have had those things. What do you call them? Those little things, kids.
Yeah, we've all kids. Yep.
Yeah.
Did you ever tell them to go and work their ass off and not be happy?
Yeah.
Or did you tell them to go do what makes them happy?
Absolutely.
What did you tell them?
Yeah.
Do what makes them happy.
Yeah, we told them everything we don't tell ourselves.
Yeah, and then they turn around and practice what you preach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Practice
what you preach. Such a good point. Such a good point.
And that's why we have a lot of people hypocrite out there that try to be motivational speakers, but they don't practice what they preach. And we've got to keep them accountable, seriously, because why give those people your money and yet they're not practicing what they preach? And that's reason why I love doing these shows and having these different podcasts, is because I rather stand by those that at least can have vulnerable conversations and put themselves in the limelight of shooting themselves in the foot and say, well, you know what? I'm just as guilty. And Scott's good at this too, especially on Tuesday night. I'm as guilty as being an asshole sometimes because I'm not good and I got to practice this, and let's not be assholes. But there's the ones that say, well, don't be an asshole person. Be the one that's nice, and then get out of the way, you asshole. I got to get somewheres, I mean, like, really.
I love that voice, Lynn.
I mean, seriously. I mean, those hypocrites just, don't have no place in my solar system.
That's what Chris says. So many hypocrites disgusts me to be associated sometimes.
Yeah.
I pride myself on being the real deal, and that's
you are, Christopher.
Definitely, you are Christopher.
I love you for that, brother.
That's why you attract what you attract, Chris.
Absolutely.
Is because you are the real you, and it's unapologetic. It doesn't mean I'm going to plow you over. It doesn't mean I'm going to be rude to you. It doesn't mean screw you if you don't like it, because we still are kind. Some people think being yourself means I will be me in the face of everything, and if I'm unkind, it's your problem. It's not mine. Right. No, you could still be kind and do all those things, and I know you are, Chris, and a lot of our friends, all of our friends out there, Debbie and Ron and everybody, they all lead with kindness.
The thing is you should be a byproduct of your own product. but most of the people ain't swallowing their own damn pills. That's the point I'm making. That's the point. I'm going to stand on my ground with that shit.
Well,
That's
let me
all
ask
I'm
you guys
saying.
something. All three of us have been through major life changes, you know, once, twice, three times, whatever it might be.
A lady,
We've been
yeah,
through major
yeah.
changes. What kind of motivations make you finally get up and make those changes? I know some of us, all of us have, we're not exactly experts in how to have a good marriage.
Yeah, we are. We're an example of what not to be.
Yes,
Well,
we can
hey,
still give advice from that perspective. What
Exactly.
not to do.
as I always say, 48% of all marriages end in divorce. The other 52% end in death. There's no good way out. There is no
Right.
good way out.
Right.
Well,
But
none of us are getting out alive. Let's bring that
we
to the table here.
we've all been in difficult relationships where we've wanted to change and to do things.
Right.
We've all been stuck in jobs where we didn't like, and we've
Right.
all
Mm.
done things. What is it? And then we can kind of go around with each of us. What is it that turns you on and motivates you, especially now that we're all doing these new projects and new things? What keeps you going and what motivates you?
Well, you know, it would motivate me when I was trying to get out of these situations. What would keep me going is to say that one day I will not be in the situation I'm in now. And that would keep me alive to stay alive, to move forward instead of being stuck where I was at.
Mm.
So that was a survival of to say, okay, well, in order to get there, that was the light at the end of the tunnel for me. And that would perpetuate me to have that tomorrow, was to work on it today. And so therefore that would motivate me to make sure that I was taking the steps, whether it was saving a little money, whether it was, making the connections and knowing, making the plans necessary, because Rome wasn't made in one day, people. So
That's right.
you have to have plans and things and contingencies to go along your journey to travel. And if you don't know where Montana is and you don't know where New York is, there's a lot of freaking desert from here to there. And if you don't have the right equipment, you don't prepare your car, you don't prepare this, you don't do this and that, you're going to be screwed. So I've learned, and I work at a hotel. It's funny because people drive in from there to here. There's nothing in between here and there. And how'd you get here from there? And why are you still here? Well, have you seen from here to there? It takes a while to get out of this town, So again, I say all that to say this. It truly is preparing yourself and expect the unexpected. And so therefore you have to be prepared for the worst, but prepare for the best. But don't expect anything. Have no fears, but expect to just make your decisions and go. So
Richard, thanks for joining us. Richard saying the thought of getting to your happy place would keep you going. Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
definitely.
it does.
That's definitely
for
one of
coming.
mine.
What do you think about this, Mary?
So I have a weird relationship with motivation. I don't always need it. Like there's a lot of things that I do that I don't feel motivated to do, and yet I still do them, right? So things like going for a walk. Yeah, I'm not really motivated at 6:30 in the morning to do it, but I put my running shoes in front of my coffee machine on the floor. So I have to step over my shoes to get to the coffee. And there's no way I'm not going to put them on. Like I'm going to put them on. And then that's the first step. And then the next step is go get the dog. Well, he's already wagging as soon as he sees the shoes.
He doesn't need motivation.
No, he doesn't. So I think, a lot of people are waiting to feel motivated to do this or to try that or whatever it is. And it's just a matter of, and I don't want to really use the word discipline, but it's a matter of put something in place that will help make it easier for you to do that thing, whatever that thing is. So that's what I think about that. Yeah.
I love that. It's funny because it's almost the idea of having somebody motivate you doesn't even make sense. You either have the desire to do something or you don't. Now somebody might light a spark in you. Somebody might, get you excited about something, but the real motivation has to come from you. And if it's not there, then you obviously don't desire that thing enough. And it's starting to question. It's like, why am I not chasing this? Why am I not doing this? What is it about me that doesn't want to do this? That's what you got to figure out. It's not a fact that, it's nobody is going to stand in front of you and go, hey, come on, rah, rah, and it's going to change your life. You've got to have that spark within you first,
Right.
Absolutely.
And it's just, it's like the whole self-help revolution and stuff. And it's like, the truth is, if you truly went to the library to look up the self-help section, you should walk in and say, do you know where the self-help section? And somebody should say, find it yourself. They should not help you. And when you get there should be a picture of you hanging there, because it's not really self-help. We look to others to guide us, and that's fine. Let's pretend it's the real self-help is looking at you and saying, this is what I desire. And if I don't desire it, then maybe I need to think about what I truly do desire. If you want to get in shape, then you'll get up and you'll get in shape. Now, you need reminders. You need to set yourself up a little ways. Yeah. But even those won't work if you don't want to do it.
Right.
Those won't work if you don't want to do it. You have to be self-motivating and do it yourself. It's something you got to want. Now, as far as changes in my life in doing that stuff, bottom line is I spent many, many years trying to make everyone around me happy, and I created a miserable world. I spent years trying to make my wife happy, and she died, and she was miserable when she died. I was trying to make my kids happy, and I lost my kids for a long period of time. I lost my relationship and the respect and everything, because all I was doing was trying to manipulate everybody to be happy around me while I was miserable myself. So I'm all this negative energy trying to put out positiveness. Negative energy cannot create positive energy. I had to fix me. And that was something I did not realize until I'm in my 50s. And now I'm looking around saying, why does everything hurt so much? Why do I've done everything to make everybody happy. I've tried to be a nice guy. I've tried to do these things, but I never took care of me. Lynn hit it on the head. Why don't we treat ourselves better? And I started taking care of myself, and I realized, wow, part of positive energy is now coming from me effortlessly. It doesn't have to be generated. It doesn't have to be a fabrication. It's not a manipulation. It's just who I am. And it's all the inner work that I have to do. But it took me 50 freaking years to figure that out.
And the beauty comes out in your canvases too. And I love it.
Oh, yes.
It does.
Thank you. Got Marilyn right there behind me.
Yes.
There we
Beautiful.
go. Pick her nose.
I love
Pick
it.
her nose. There we go.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, silly. I think, another thing that motivates people is they seem to need to hit rock bottom. It's only when they hit rock bottom that they want to come back up. So there's that saying that says that the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of changing, or nothing changes until the pain of staying
Absolutely.
the same. I don't know the darn saying, but it's something like that.
You got the gist. You got the gist.
I got the gist of it.
Or just the same thing is and I'm gonna be gross here, but I'm getting the point. If you're gonna poop on yourself until it stinks bad enough, you're not gonna get up from there and move and take care of yourself. So
we're back to diapers now.
So.
But I don't.
We've gone to potty
believe,
talk. We've gone to potty talk.
I don't believe that people need to get to that rock bottom state. Create rock bottom if you want. Create it in your mind, and then use that a little bit to see, okay, how do I want my life to look? And I think, Lynn, you said it earlier. You've got to have a vision. You've got to know what you want. And going back to our first show, I think, Scott, we talked about that self-awareness thing. Like, you got to know yourself and what you want out of life. And especially at this age, we have so much knowledge built up in us that we don't even realize it. We don't even realize sometimes the things that we've learned. So use it. Go out and try it.
And the inspiration is everywhere though too. You know what I mean? Like the inspiration, or sometimes, you realize some of your friends pass away or something happens to somebody, and they're like, wow, but I still can walk. Lynn's not walking very great, but I can walk. Or, you get inspired by other people's losses or gains or whatever. And, and I don't watch the news anymore, but you turn on that news and you could say, shit, life's pretty damn good. I'm going to go and do something about it while I still got my life left. I mean, it's just, you can find the brighter side of things everywhere you go. And I think some of my friends get pissed off because they'll be bitching, moaning. I go, well, there's a bright side to this. And they're like, well, Lynn, I got to go now. And it always happens. And I'm like, okay, see you later. But I always drop there's a bright side of this. So, then I hear them,
I love it.
wah, wah. But, there's always a bright side. Because someday there's going to be nothing to bitch about.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I don't feel bad for you. Because, I just
people
don't.
talk about pain and badness and in like even things like addiction and maybe abuse and trauma. It's like an elevator going down, and you can get off on any floor you want. You don't have to go all the way to the bottom. A lot of people do have to. They have to hit bottom but some people can get off. See, the problem is I'm never afraid to try something new. I'm more afraid to leave behind what I know. So even though that elevator, my addiction, my abuse, all those things that I had in my life, even though that elevator that I was living in was on the way down, and it wasn't going to stop at death, it was going straight to hell. I knew where I was going. I knew what was happening. And it was full of pain and sorrow and regret and shame and guilt and spiders and snakes and all the worst things you can imagine are all in there. But I somehow set up and made it a cozy place because that's all I had. So even though there was a shining light on that floor that I was passing and I could get off that floor and change my life, I was too afraid to leave what I knew. No matter how bad it was my comfort. We become comfortable in our discomfort. We become, we're not afraid of, people always like, well, I'm afraid of change. It's like, it's not the change. It's about letting go. That's what we're really afraid of. Everybody wants to win the $1 million, but I don't want to give up, this moment to have it. It's like if I want to leave New York and fly to Miami, I have to put both feet on the plane to leave. I'm not allowed to leave one foot on the tarmac in New York and somehow think I'm going to make it to Miami. You've got to let go, and letting go is the hardest thing for human beings to do.
I don't want to pay the ticket,
even if it's a bad thing. Even if it's what?
I don't want to pay the ticket to go to Florida if it's going to crash.
Right. There you go.
I don't want to waste that money.
But I mean, if you guys follow what we create comfort in our discomfort.
Right.
So that I'm almost better the devil, I hate to leave what I got and go, hey, Jeannie's with us. Jean with you. There we go.
Right.
Jean and I were hanging out together at Gary Wayne's birthday party last week. It was awesome. We had a good time.
Awesome.
So, that's one of the things is you have to sometimes take a chance and let go of your discomfort to grab onto something that's comforting.
Well,
and it's hard to do. That's why so many people go from one abusive relationship to another. It's like they get out of an abusive relationship and all of a sudden the next one is just as abusive. Why? Because we've actually created a comfort level there that we haven't acknowledged. We haven't acknowledged
familiarity.
Yes.
Well,
I have a familiarity with failure and pain and sorrow and all these things. And so I hold on to those things.
And
learning to let go of those things, that's the key to everything, people.
But you know what, Scott, I realize, and this is going to get you hate mail, but sorry, this is a free show, so you can't sue anybody here. But what we find, though, too, is some people don't want to leave those discomforts because it has gotten to a point where some people empathize with people because you went through this, because of this. And people have coddled them with the sympathy, and it's gotten them so far. And we've really got to, I don't mean this callously, but I mean this sincerely in a loving way. Sometimes we have to realize that things happen to all of us, and we have to have the compassion to feel for that person and understand that, but we have to help them. It's just like the Bible says, right? You don't feed somebody for the day. You teach them how to fish, and they can feed themselves forever.
For a lifetime. That's right.
For a lifetime. You don't just say, let me feed you today. Tomorrow, they're not going to know. They possibly won't even eat tomorrow. But if you teach them to be sufficient for themselves, then they're going to be you taught them something that they can take care of themselves. So what I'm saying is if you learn how to help them, then it would be so much better than to be always, poor you, instead of how can I help you? Don't show them the pity and the concern, but be more, how can you help them so that they can feel like you're there to help them and not to hinder them, if that makes any sense. I hope it does
Yeah, I think that's
to
a
those,
really good point of how
you know.
sometimes we don't realize by coddling people that we might actually be enabling and perpetuating that bad
Yeah, because then they don't feel like they
behavior.
can. Yeah.
Well, my father actually taught me that lesson a while back when I was, in my marriage, when one of my marriages, it was going really, really bad. And every time I talked to him, I would complain. And I would go see him and we'd sit around and we'd talk and and I'd be like, this sucks and that sucks. And the man, and it was like a release for me. And he would
Mm.
listen. And then one day he said the most brilliant thing. He said, shut the F up. He just looked at me. He said, shut the F up. And I'm like, whoa. For 2 years, I've been coming here and complaining about this. And now you're telling me to shut the F up. And he goes, if you're not choosing to do anything to change it,
Yeah.
if you're choosing to stay in it, then I don't want to hear about it anymore.
Yeah.
If you want to make a change, I'm there to help you. But stop describing the pain and start telling me what you're going to do.
Right.
And it was at that point I realized, it's like, you know what? I'm doing exactly what Lynn said. I'm staying in a bad situation so I can grab sympathy from people.
Yeah. No.
Instead of taking the bull by the horns, making a change, letting go of the bad and grabbing onto something good.
Yeah.
But I was holding on to the bad because it served me. And the truth is, it did serve me. It got me empathy. It got me sympathy. It got people saying, oh, Scott's such a nice guy. She's so evil to him. And I got to do all of that stuff. And finally, I said, that's it. I'm going to make a change. I'm going to do something different. And I did make that change, and it changed. That was one of those steps in your life where you say, holy shit, I could have done this 10 years ago.
True.
Thank you,
true.
Ron, for watching. Love you. God bless you.
Thank you, Ron. And I saw my friend Karen there too. She's the Just a Name or Just in a Name.
But seriously,
Yes.
I definitely want people to realize that if you get around somebody that has been telling the same old story and the same thing, do yourself and that person a favor and change the script, change what you do to see if you could see a change in them. Because if not, they're not going to change because you're following the same old script. I mean, I don't know about you, but if you keep watching the same old damn play and the same damn script, that gets pretty boring and nobody's growing from it. You aren't, they're not. It's just a facade, and it doesn't do anyone any good.
It's on autopilot.
Even better, just give him Christopher Roush's phone number, the
Yeah.
No Excuses coach, and he will knock the shit out of him.
There you go. There you go. And there is something else too, because I know there are a lot of people who are comfortable. They may complain that they want to do something different, but they really don't. And I think if you're at least honest with yourself that, you know what, we got to do that. Being honest with yourself and just admit, you know what, I really don't want to do this. I don't want to go down that business path.
Right.
And then that's it. Be done with it.
Yep.
Just own up to you not wanting to do something. That's another angle of that same, or another side of that same coin, of people being, as Christopher would actually call it, comfortably numb.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Scott knows all about that. We're not going there. No, just kidding.
Comfortably numb? No, no. I was drunk and dumb. It was close, but it was similar.
Close. Yeah,
it was very similar.
Close.
Drunk and dumb, comfortably numb, almost the same thing. But I did listen to a lot of Pink Floyd back then, so it all worked out.
So we're getting about 15 minutes before we're done here, and my dogs are going crazy here. But
hi to your dog.
She can't help but be a producer.
I know,
since you're a guest on the show, you're telling us when we're going to end.
Yeah, no,
you can't help it. You always are producing.
I know, but I want to know what's the topics and things that you hope to see for your show going forward this season.
Oh wow, Mary, go ahead.
So we've got a couple lined up already, and so one of it is going to be a conversation about the grieving process. So that's going to be a very interesting one. We're going to talk to another inspirational person who went from homelessness to where he is now. And so it's going to be more information more inspiration. I think one thing that I really want to impress on people this season is that, like, take a look at the people that are on the screen that we're going to bring on as our guests. They're ordinary people doing extraordinary things, right? But they're ordinary people. And there's a saying that says, don't make me so extraordinary so that you don't have to do anything. It's that same kind of thing. Like, we just want to show people that all these walks of life can make the changes and reach their visions, or detour and reach some other path, pivot. So yeah, those are some of my ideas.
We're
Scott,
gonna
anything
have,
else?
yeah, we're gonna have people. We have a few guests. I have a few guests lined up that are all about tapping into your power, tapping into your energy. Stop thinking in the terms of powerlessness. I think we've become too weenie whiny in the powerless era of, oh, I can't do anything about it, and oh, I'm a victim. And no, talk about, we're going to tap into power, the power to make changes, the power to affect not only your lives but the lives of every human being around you. Because when we're doing positive things for ourselves, it can't help but create positive energy around you for others. And we have got a lot of good people doing that. We're going to be talking to people about their personal journeys, and we're going to revisit some favorites.
Yes.
We're definitely going to, Walt and Steph McKinley are going to be back. They are killing it out there with their podcast.
Yeah.
They are amazing, and just have them back. They're always a lot of fun to have. And we're going to have my child pay us another visit, give us a little bit of update about you met her as Cordy last year, and Cordy told you about her journey. This year, you're going to meet him as Dylan. And you're going to see an amazing transformation going from being a lost human being to an empowered human being. And it's a beautiful thing. So, and we've got other people lined up. We're just so excited to be back. It's nice to take a little time off once in a while, but you know what? The life between all or nothing is it's going to explode this year. We want everybody to be a part of that journey. All of you people who have been watching today, commenting, our good friends, Scott Schilling, Chris Roush, Karen and Sandy and Jean and Ron and everyone else out there who's been, and Deborah, you guys are all part of our family, and we appreciate and love all of you guys.
I love it. I love everything that you said, and I loved where you guys are going with this. And that's the purpose of sharing these shows, is because people need to see that there's many people doing so many great things in the world, and it is about love, and it's really important people know that great people are making a difference in the world, and we need to share more of those things, because more that's shared, we can see how much more we're the same and not different. And there's just too much separation going on, and the only way we're going to get together is us collaborating and being together and integrating interviews and things like that. So I really I love it. I love it.
We love sharing with everybody. And, I want to make a point. We always have kind of the you can't see it very well, but there's a lighthouse in the background and stuff. And Mary Kate loves lighthouses, and I
do too.
I love lighthouses. We both kind of share a passion for taking pictures of lighthouses and seeing them. And well, I should just paint the lighthouse. I should just do it.
You should paint the lighthouse.
I should paint the lighthouse. But it's also very symbolic of what we're talking about. It's about finding the light in the dim. It's about following the light to where you want to be. And eventually what happens is you become the lighthouse for others. And
amen.
But you've got to follow what you need to do for you and take care of you, so that one day you can be that light for others. There's too many people out there, and we've got a lot of great professionals that are on our show today that are commenting. There's too many people out there who just take on the moniker of coaching and this and that without any real experience, without any life experience, without any kind of training. And there's too many people guiding people the wrong directions. If you're going to reach out for help, make sure you're reaching out to somebody who not just has the prettiest ad on Facebook, who doesn't just have the coolest bells and whistles, but somebody who truly embodies what you want to be, somebody that truly embodies the path that you want to follow. We all need our Svengali. We all need our person, and it's good to have a guide. It's good to have a guide. I had a guide early in my life. His name was Denny Tuff. His name was Denny Tuff, and Denny Tuff passed away 6 months ago. My business, I talked about this on the show the other night. My business partner, Karen, went back up to Syracuse where all my friends are from and everybody's up there. And one of the people up there gave me this pendant, and this pendant has the ashes of Denny Tuff, who guided me at a time in my life when all I wanted to do was be destructive. All I wanted to do was hurt things and break things and be a bad person. And he guided me through that time in my life. And to this day, some of the things I say and how I model some of my activities is based on what he taught me. And so he's always going to be with me. Find that person for you. That's always a gift to have that person. Sometimes it's surprising too. You never know where that person's going to come from.
Yeah.
You know, and it might even change over time, but keep that person with you. And then what'll happen is as you're following that person, once in a while you turn around and look and you'll see somebody's following you. It's a beautiful thing.
Keep that person and be that person.
Yes.
Be that person.
Paying it forward.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Anybody that you've ever loved, you honor them when they pass by paying things forward. And that's the way the world should be, is paying it forward in memory of someone that has paid it forward to you. And I thank you so much for being here, you guys. It's been an honor to be on the show.
Thank you.
You started us off. I don't even know what the date was. Our first show, how long ago it was, but it's season 1. Yeah. It was well over a year ago. It was over a year ago. But you started us off. You started us off on season 2, and you never disappoint, Lynn. You're of service to everybody who needs help in podcasting world and in other places in their lives. You've opened yourself, your heart, and your story to us, and we appreciate you for that. And
love you guys.
You know, nothing but love. Big sis rocks. Love Lynn.
Yeah, we love you, Lynn. We're forever grateful for you being the connector, and Christopher Rausch too. He's the connector, but yeah, Lynn, you were the connector for this show, and it's just been an amazing.
The more experience. Little baby podcasts I see out of the connections I make, the more. And like my brother's widow, Jules.
Thanks for being here, Julie.
Thanks, Jules, for being here.
There's a lot of noise out there in the podcast world. There's a lot of noise. Try to focus, listen through the noise to hear the music and follow the music. And you'll know what I'm talking about when you find the right people out there. We're working with as many great people as we can, and we're going to keep bringing this to you. Lynn, real quick, before we wrap up, we got a few moments. Tell us again what your new project is coming up and what you're going to be doing. Just remind us real quick.
It's Lynn's BS, which is Lynn's bright side of things.
I just love Lynn's BS.
I love it too.
Don't even explain it.
You guys are going to be on the Lynn BS shows too.
Yeah,
that's of course. You guys definitely. And like I said, always look for the BS in everything. Call it out and see it, and believe that there's a BS in everything. The bright side of things, that is.
The bright side.
Mary Kay, final thoughts on what we have going on and what we're going to be doing.
Ooh, well, first of all, thank you, Lynn, for being here today and for helping us kick off season 2. And thank you to everybody who's watching us today. We really appreciate you, and we're just so happy that you're here and to see you in the comments. And I mean, it just warms my heart that we're all connecting and that we're all wanting to put something good out into the world. So be the change that you want to see. I think that's what I want to end today with.
Oh, favorite quote ever. Be the change you want to see in the world. Stop waiting for somebody else to do it. Love thy neighbor. Love yourself. Take care of your communities and the people that you love and the people around you. You can't go wrong. As always, do one nice thing for somebody else and 2 nice things for yourself every day, and you'll never have a bad day. If you want to catch up on everything that happened last season, maybe you're new to us, all you got to do is go to the lifebetweenpodcast.com, and it'll take you right to the page where all of our shows are. You can binge watch them. It's a great family night. Sit there, eat popcorn, watch us. Be careful you don't choke, because sometimes we get pretty freaking funny. All right. With that, for Lynn Serrano, the awesome, ultimate Lynn Serrano, for the absolutely beautiful and brilliant Mary Kay, I'm Scott J. saying thanks for joining us right here on the Life Between All or Nothing podcast. We will catch you next time. Bye-bye.